Hey, from bugeyguy.com, and this is a car that the new owner is calling Beans. It's a barn find car that we've recently sold to him, and he's hired us to preserve the car and maintain its provenance and history. It's kind of a really fun project because many people would paint this car right away. We're instead working on trying to bring it back, make it into basically just a protected and preserved example. And so we've started on this rear quarter panel to try and bring out some of the luster. We'll be working more on that. You can see the reflections of the lights, so there is hope, even though initially we were worried the paint was pretty much gone. All that oxidizing that you see in the center of your screen now at the bottom of that quarter panel down in here, we should be able to get that out. And so we'll check back in with you once we do the doors and the rest of the car and see if we can find a happy medium between not restoring this car but also preserving it. It's a difficult task because where do you draw the line? But we want to keep the original flavor. The new owner is very interested in the history. He's had us remove the seats so that he can put them in large frames, the original material that was there. And the same with that floor mat, that rubber floor mat that was on the driver's side. That was a very rare piece. So he will frame that to keep it with the car. We have the original dashboard coming back now. We'll need to deal with this cockpit trim here where it's a little too far gone. And yeah, we'll check in with you as we get this car back together again. There's a lot of work to do, but it's coming together nicely. We've removed the engine. The engine bay also will need to be cleaned up. But what's special about this car, if you're looking at it and thinking, wow, it's kind of a mess, it's actually a remarkable example. Normally we would find so much rust on here and in the rocker panels, the A-pillars, and this car has none of that. It's a very, very unusual find, this particular car, in that it is so solid. It's a two-owner car that was California-based. Now we've started to take the engine apart. I wanted to show you this. I thought you might find it kind of interesting. This is the 948 block that came with the car, and let's see if we can get the light. What we had, now it ran, and we were hoping we could just pull the block apart and clean it up, clean up the corrosion. But what you might be able to see, I marked it, there's 3 Sharpie marks there, right there. Right in the middle of your screen you see magic marker, 3 marks. And those are the 3 rings. Now if you look a little to the right, you should be able to see, you can get the light right, there are scores. You follow those black marks around to your right clockwise. We've tried to hone them out, but there are scores in the cylinder wall from where the rings were parked for many, many years. And so imagine that the engine was sitting with the rings in that location. Corrosion started to form, a little moisture gets in between the cylinder wall and the ring, and it basically starts a little groove. And that groove now we need to cut out. You see, this bore actually looks quite good for whatever reason. And this one also is pretty good. There was 1 mark on this bore. But it's this number 3 cylinder, I think it's number 3, that had the worst issue. So we'll have to bore all of these and clean them up and put in new pistons. And in the meantime, yeah, that's actually number 2. The front of the engine's on this side. So in the meantime, we'll have new pistons. The block will get boiled out and cleaned up, and all the corrosion that's in there from sitting, there's quite a bit of corrosion inside there. We removed the core plugs, and so all that will be taken care of as well. So the engine will be like a new engine, and we'll get it back in Beans and get the car driving again. And that's an update for this barn find project at bugeyguy.com.